Alright, so let's talk about the Canon EOS R5 for video. Intro. Okay, so yeah, I've already made a couple of videos about the EOS R5, like my photography review, and by the way, if you're interested in that, definitely check out the link down in the first comment. But yeah, today it's all about video, because a few people asked me to talk about that a little bit, and a lot of people are worried about these overheating issues and all kind of stuff like that. So yeah, here are my thoughts on that, so let's start with the first one, and this is all about the recording options. The Canon EOS R5 can record in a lot of modes, so 1080p, 4K, 4K HQ and 8K. If you want to record in 1080p, you have multiple outputs, so 24, 30, 60 FPS in IPB or all-I. Next, of course, 4K, you have 4KU and 4KD. It's the same, so 24, 30 and 60 FPS in IPB and all-I. And if we switch over to 8K, you have 8KU, here you can use 24 or 30 FPS in IPB or all-I, and in 8KD you have 24 and 30 FPS in IPB, all-I and RAW, which is fantastic. But there's still some more options that you can use. First, the 4K HQ option right here. If you activate that, you can record in the high quality 4K option with 24 or 30 FPS in IPB or all-I. And second, the 120 FPS option, just simply activate it right here, and now you can record in 120 FPS in all-I. In my opinion, these are actually really great recording options, and I definitely love to use them all. But I don't really understand why there isn't a 1080p 120 FPS option. I definitely would like to use it, but maybe Canon will fix that with an update later on. But yeah, if you want to record some slow-mo footage, you need to use the 4K 120 FPS option, or you need to use 60 FPS instead. So next, let's talk about C-Log. You can set up C-Log right here in the third layer of the video settings. Just open up the Canon log settings and now you can do all kind of stuff. First, of course, you need to activate it so you can record and log, and here I just like to use the assist. The assist allows me to see a basic color grading preview so I can check how the footage looks like while recording the footage. If I would turn it off, the preview would look like the standard C-Log footage that you will see in the editing. So it's definitely easier to use assist here to get always a good exposure. The last aspect that I recommend is to check out the C-Log settings. I don't really like the standard C-Log settings because in my opinion the sharpness is missing here completely. So what I did was to open up the settings and gave the sharpness a +3, and that gave me a way better image. But it totally depends on your own style and what you like. So what I recommend is to record a lot of sample footage with all kind of C-Log settings and then figure out what kind of settings you like. So yeah, all in all, the Canon EOS R5 offers everything that you need to record some high quality footage, including some nice slow-mo clips in all kind of situations. But especially if you want to record in 4K HQ, 8K or 4K 120 FPS, you need CF Express cards. And yeah, they're expensive, and I don't recommend to buy small cards because you simply need a lot of storage if you want to record in 4K or 8K, and this card needs to be fast. I bought this one here for around €450 and I never had any problems to record my footage. I will link it down in the description, so if you're looking for a CF Express card, maybe check that out because there are a lot of them out there. But yeah, as I already mentioned, the most important part if you want to buy a CF Express card is the speed of these cards. Because there are some cheap CF Express cards out there that you can't use because of that. So always double check the speed of these cards before you buy. But now let's move on with the next part here, and of course we need to talk about lenses too. And I already have a couple of EF and RF lenses, and I can still use them all even with the new mount of the R5. And the reason is this little adapter here that makes it possible to use older EF glass with the R system without having any major downsides, and that's a perfect opportunity to make the jump to the RF mount because you don't have to buy all kind of new lenses if you already use Canon glass. So yeah, my overall gear is ready to use and I don't have to care about buying new stuff just because of the new mount. And yeah, I definitely need to say that I really like the combination of the R5 and the EF glass. The only downside is that you have to use this little adapter here, but I think that's something that won't be a problem for most of the photographers and filmmakers out there. But yeah, of course, the new RF glass is just awesome. Currently my favorite lens is the RF 35mm 1.8 macro. I use it for a variety of things including video recording, and I need to say that I highly recommend this lens if you want to buy your first RF lens. But now let's move on and let's quickly talk about audio. And yes, you can connect microphones to the camera like the Rode VideoMic Pro Plus or even XLR microphones if you use something like the Zoom H5. So yeah, if you use a Rode VideoMic as an example, this is not a huge problem, but I recommend to turn the input volume in the menu nearly all the way down so you won't have any clipping audio, because yeah, that's a common problem. But if you want to record an XLR microphone, I highly recommend to record that external and sync it in the post-production, because what I noticed is that the quality wasn't that good. Another really important part we need to talk about is the editing. The 4K and 8K files of the EOS R5 are big, and if you don't have a computer that can handle these codecs, you will have a lot of problems in the editing. Currently I think the new Macs with the M1 chips can handle these files, but my 2014 iMac has a hard time here. I mean, yeah, it is possible to do it because I use these files every single day, but I will upgrade to the new M chips from Apple as soon as they release a new iMac. So yeah, definitely keep that in your mind before you buy this camera. These codecs definitely need a good computer. But yeah, what's about the workflow? In my opinion, the R5 body is not too big and not too small. I can use it without having any problems, and the overall layout is just on point. Canon actually improved everything that I didn't like while using the EOS R, and the overall handling of the R5 is super simple, especially if you used the EOS R before. I actually didn't have to learn a lot to get started. I just simply switched on the camera and yeah, that's it. So you can find everything that you need in the menu really fast, and if you want to switch between the video recording modes, for example, you just have to open up this menu here and then you can select the right settings. And yeah, last but not least, the EOS R5 finally have IBIS, and I need to say that this is awesome that it is now possible to use these features. In the end, I just need to say it's an easy to use system and I absolutely love it, especially in combination with a flip-out screen. The R5 is a perfect camera for all kind of situations. So let's talk about the final question: should you buy this camera for video? Well, yeah, of course. The Canon EOS R5 is currently my favorite camera because it actually makes it possible to do everything that I like to do. Because yeah, as an example, I like to do both photo and video. Because yeah, I actually don't want to carry two cameras all the time, just in case if I want to record a video, for example. Sometimes there's a situation where you want to take a quick photo, but then you have to pick up your photography camera first, switch lenses, set it up, and the situation is already gone. And exactly that's why I really like these hybrid cameras, because they allow me to do both all the time. And exactly that's the EOS R5. I can simply switch between the photo and video mode, and whenever I need to use a different mode, I can switch between them really fast. So this high-end camera package makes it way easier for me to get my work done, including some high-end specs in such a small camera body. I mean 1080p, 4K up to 120 FPS, 4K HQ and even 8K. That's everything that you need to record some high-end video footage. So in the end, I just need to say, if you're looking for such a camera, the R5 is a great choice, because it actually makes it possible to do everything that you like to do all the time. So yeah, these are my thoughts about buying the EOS R5 for video. Thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you're new here, don't forget to smash that subscribe button to stay updated for our upcoming videos, and I'll see you in the next video.